Imagine this. You walk into a store, pick up a belt, and head to the register. Before you can pay, 3 police officers surround you. You're handcuffed. Shoppers stare. Your crime? Looking like you don't belong here. That's what happened to Eric McDuffie, a young black man whose shopping trip turned into a nightmare. And it's not just his story. It's happening across America. Subscribe to Justice Tales, hit like, and tell me, what city are you watching from? Could this happen there? Drop your city in the comments. Eric McDuffie had just finished his shift at a construction site in suburban Ohio. It was payday, and he decided to treat himself, a new belt to replace the worn, frayed one he'd been wearing for months. He walked into a high-end department store, feeling a little out of place but excited. He browsed quietly, found one he liked, and headed for the counter. That's when a store employee slipped into the back room and made a call. Minutes later, blue lights flashed through the glass doors. Eric didn't even realize the officers were there for him, until they walked straight toward him. The officers didn't ask questions. They told him to put his hands behind his back. Confused, Eric asked what was going on. One officer replied, "We got a call about a theft in progress." A theft? He was holding the belt in plain sight with the price tag still on it. Eric explained he hadn't even paid yet because he was still waiting in line. But the employee who called them stepped forward and said, "He's been lingering, looking suspicious. We have him on camera." Eric was humiliated. Shoppers whispered. Someone filmed on their phone. He was walked out of the store in cuffs. Outside, the officers checked his ID, ran his name, and found no record. One cop muttered, "You're free to go." No apology. No explanation. Just a man standing in a parking lot, his wrists red from the cuffs, wondering how a simple purchase turned into public humiliation. Eric's story exploded online when that bystander's video hit social media. You could see it clearly. A black man, calm and compliant, was being led out of a store in cuffs for holding an item he hadn't even bought yet. The store claimed it was policy to involve police when something looked suspicious. But to millions of viewers, the suspicion wasn't about the belt, it was about his skin color. In the comments, people asked the same question. If Eric were white, would the employee have called the police? Eric filed a discrimination lawsuit. The store eventually issued a public apology, but the damage was done. He admitted he still gets anxious walking into certain stores. Thousands shared their own stories of being followed, questioned, or accused while shopping. It became a national conversation, not about shoplifting, but about what happens when bias decides who's suspicious. Eric's case didn't just shine a light on one store. It exposed a problem embedded deep in everyday life. A belt. That's all it took for Eric McDuffie's dignity to be stripped away in front of strangers. And while his story went viral, most cases like his never make the news. Could this happen in your city? Subscribe to Justice Tales, hit like, and drop your city in the comments, because the next video might be about something happening in your neighborhood right now.